They said Ukraine was running out of options. What if that was never the real story? Because something new has just rolled out, and once you hear what it is, you'll understand why even the UK military is now watching Ukraine closely. Meet the Skiff APC, and the question is simple. If this vehicle is even half as effective as claimed, why is it suddenly changing how modern armies think about survival on the battlefield? Stay with this, because it gets more interesting the deeper you go. Ukraine's defense industry has developed one defining trait: it never stops evolving. Every strike, every loss, every battlefield lesson becomes fuel for something new, faster, stronger, harder to destroy. That relentless cycle is exactly why Ukraine has survived a war most analysts expected it to lose early on. And now, that process has produced its latest creation, the Skiff, a domestically built armoured personnel carrier designed for one purpose: keeping soldiers alive in the most lethal battlefield environment modern war has ever seen. At first glance, it looks familiar. Just another APC, a battlefield transport vehicle moving troops, supplies, and wounded soldiers through contested ground. Nothing unusual, until you realise what it's replacing. For years, Ukraine has depended heavily on the American-made M113, a Cold War-era design from the early 1960s that somehow still finds itself on 21st century battlefields. And to be fair, it has earned its reputation. With nearly 2,000 units supplied through the US and allied nations, the M113 has become one of Ukraine's most widely used armoured carriers. It's fast for its size, capable of hitting over 65 km per hour, and can move across mud, forests, and rough terrain where wheeled vehicles fail. It can even cross rivers without bridges thanks to its sealed hull design. But here's the problem. This is not a 1960s war anymore. Today's battlefield is dominated by something the designers of the M113 never had to consider: drones. FPV kamikaze drones, precision-guided strikes, constant aerial surveillance. The result is a battlefield where lightly armoured vehicles are hunted in real time. And even with improvised protection, cages, spikes, field armour, hundreds of M113s have already been destroyed. The real number is likely higher than 600 confirmed losses. Each upgrade helps, but also slows the vehicle down, adds weight, and creates new weaknesses. Which leads to the real issue. Ukraine doesn't just need repairs anymore, it needs reinvention. And that's where the Skiff changes the conversation completely. Built by Ukrainian engineers at UKR Armtech, the Skiff is not a replacement for the M113, it's what comes after it. It keeps the same DNA, similar weight, similar speed, similar troop capacity of around 8 soldiers plus a 3-person crew. But that's where the similarities end, because underneath, everything changes. The Skiff reportedly doubles protection compared to the M113, with NATO Stanag Level 4 frontal armour capable of surviving heavy machine gun fire and near artillery detonations. The sides and rear hold Level 3 protection, while the underside is reinforced to withstand mine blasts of up to 13 pounds. In simple terms, it's built to take punishment the old generation simply can't handle. It also introduces electronic warfare systems designed to disrupt drone guidance, smoke launchers for rapid concealment, and optional remote weapon stations capable of engaging infantry and even low-flying drones. And this is where global attention shifts, because Ukraine isn't the only one watching this. Reports suggest the UK military is taking a serious interest in the Skiff's design, not just as a vehicle, but as a concept. Why? Because it solves a problem NATO forces are struggling with right now. How do you protect soldiers in a drone-heavy war without sacrificing speed and mobility? The Skiff may be one of the first real answers. Still in prototype testing, it could evolve further into steel armoured variants and eventually enter mass production for both domestic use and export. And if that happens, it won't stay a Ukrainian innovation for long. It becomes a blueprint. So the real question isn't what the Skiff is, it's what it signals. Because in a war where survival depends on speed, adaptation, and electronic dominance, Ukraine may have just built something that forces even the UK to rethink the future of armoured warfare. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from.